Hey guys, it's Aaron here behind the mic. Welcome to the first video of the new series, Visiting Planets. Let's dive straight into the details. Spending a day on Mars. Ideally, let's assume that we are taking a rocket. Imagine you are in that rocket with about, 30 more people in it, heading straight for Mars. The time it will take to get there will vary. There is not one answer. Okay, so if you search it on Google and you see the number that it shows, it's not just that. It depends on the path of travel we are taking, the energy we exhaust, and where Mars is in its orbit. As of now, a good prediction is to think that it will take probably 200 to 300 days to get to Mars from Earth, or 6.5 to 10 months. As we reach Mars, you will start to clearly see the red planet's surface features. You enter the atmosphere and finally land on Mars. One thing you'll notice at first will be your weight. You will be only 38% your weight on Earth. If you weigh 100 pounds on Earth, you'll weigh 38 pounds on Mars. This means that your body will have less stress acting on it. You'll feel as if you're more free. You can jump higher, jump farther, and walk with less energy. So far, so good. As you look around, all you will see is the red-orange landscape of the planet. Rocks and dirt everywhere. No trees, no buildings, no roads, just a red-orange landscape, almost like a desert. I hope you're wearing headphones right now for this, because you should close your eyes. Go on, close your eyes, and listen to what Mars may sound like. Imagine you are there, looking around at the landscape and the sky. Pretty quiet. If you look down, assuming you're wearing a spacesuit, you'll notice the sand beneath your feet. It all depends where you are. Sometimes the ground is smooth, and sometimes it is rocky and bumpy. Now about the atmosphere, it is about 95.32% CO2, 2.7% nitrogen, 1.6% argon, 0.13% oxygen, 0.08% carbon monoxide, and other small percentages of water. This is not the atmosphere you want to breathe in. The CO2, for example, will certainly suffocate you. But in your suit, you'll be fine. Most of the time, Mars is cold. Very cold. Due to its thin atmosphere, its average temperature is negative 60 degrees Celsius. Now it's really cold, but believe it or not, sometimes near the equator of Mars, it can be 20 degrees Celsius. That's nearly perfect weather. But odds are that it is freezing cold wherever you are, even though it doesn't seem cold. What about the climate? One bad thing about Mars is that there exists dust storms, and these dust storms are the largest in the solar system. If you get caught in these, you need to get out of it as soon as possible. Do not go for shelter and wait for it to pass, because it will most likely not pass for a very, very long time. This is why we need to land where there is a low chance of a dust storm coming along. If you get in one, you may not be able to escape, and as I said, these storms are huge, absolutely massive, and can stick around for months. Let's ignore the storm and imagine you are safe and sound on Mars. And speaking of sound, what would you actually hear on Mars? I know you just listened to the illustration I gave you, but if you were to listen on the surface, what could you hear? Well, again, almost nothing. If I were to explain it, it's basically just silence. But with a storm, you'll hear the winds and dust flying around for sure. Other than that, that's it. Okay, what about the smell? What could you smell? What if you could smell the air? Now that's a very interesting question. Based on the research on the molecules on Mars, such as, CO2 and other stuff such as iron and sulfur, it has been concluded that Mars smells really bad. Imagine smelling rotten eggs. That's what it probably smells like. Good thing is though, you won't be smelling the air because you can't breathe the air. You'll just breathe through your spacesuit or your pod if you have one on the surface. If your skin comes into contact with the air around you, it will probably freeze due to the cold temperatures. And if you're lucky and it's the 20 degrees Celsius temperature that I talked about earlier, then probably nothing will happen. Okay, so you're on Mars. Where would you be? What would you live in? The best answer would be small pods. Small rooms scattered across a region. And over time, these pods can get larger and start to connect with one another, forming some sort of a tunnel system as more and more people start to come in. This will take a very long time, but inside the pods, you will have everything you need, from bathrooms to beds to living rooms to kitchens with snacks and food. As we get more and more advanced, we can have more and more things on Mars, such as wireless internet. It's going to be hard, but doable. After about 12 hours now, it will start to get dark, and now it's nighttime. Considering that you're on the right place on Mars at the right time, daytime is about 12 hours long. As it turns nighttime, it will get much, much colder. So cold that you may freeze to death in your suit. Thus, staying in the pods is essential to live. The pods must have some sort of material to keep in all the heat and not let the extreme cold inside. Plus that, you don't want the air to come inside. This will be one of the hardest tasks to do. Again, it is doable. Sleeping on Mars could be tricky. If we have to sleep with our spacesuit on, it'll probably get uncomfortable. But if we're able to sleep without the suit, then that'd be the best. Think about it, with the low gravity and no spacesuit, and consider everything working the way it should, sleeping will be a great time. Except maybe the excitement or anxiety of being on another planet may cause you to not sleep, but other than that, you should sleep very nicely. 12 hours for nighttime, plenty of time to sleep. And that is a day on Mars. Hope you enjoyed the first video of the series. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell icon to not miss any one of my videos, as the series and rest of my videos are free for you to watch. You guys are crazy in supporting me. Thank you. If you have a question, let me know in the comments, as well as, video suggestions. And hope to see you in my next video. Take it easy.